Ooh, what up, y'all? I'm Gary, coming to you with a review of Greenleaf, Season 1, Episode 12, and I got a crazy name to this episode. It's called Beanie Vicky, what is it? Beanie BD Vicky. I don't know where they came up with that name, but this episode, it wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't one of the ones where you was like, oh, it was so damn good. But this, I know I had said this in the past, and actually before I even get into the review, to all my subscribers, to the people that are just starting to watch me, I know that my videos are out of sync. I am trying. I'm going to get that rectified this week. I'm going to do something. Whatever software that's out there that I can be able to do to make sure that I can get it back together. Because I know that I've Googled it, and it's possible. Some of the software that they're sitting there saying, it just gives you a trial. And right now, with me getting ready to move to DC from Springfield, Ohio. DC is not cheap, and so, I don't have no coins right now to be sitting there paying for no expensive software. I do this because I like to do this. I do. I have fun doing it, and I'll continue to do it. And if it's just got to be out of sync for a minute, then that's just the way it's going to be. But just know, I am going to work on that this weekend when I have some time and try to see if I can be able to make it better. I'll do a couple little test videos just to see if they're syncing up and everything like that. But let's get back to the review. I told y'all a long time ago that this reminds me so much of my church family and different churches that I've seen that are large like this, and actually my church is at that stage where it's just really falling apart. Where we used to have standing room only, now we're down to my pastor right now. She's having people sit in the center sections because we are on TV, so we makes it seem like we got more people than what we actually really do. But it really, it was just slow, and I was like, I enjoyed it, and it's just so relatable to me that just from my lifestyle, all the little stories that will come out of the day. So let's just go ahead and get with it. So, last week I sit there and said, I don't know what's going on with Kevin having to sleep on the couch. They live in this big old house, and I know there's got to be spare rooms and he could be able to sleep in, but he's sleeping on the couch because Charity knows that something's up. Probably the woman's intuition is probably thinking that he's maybe cheating on her or thinking about it or something like that, and she's probably thinking it's female. Kevin is battling. Now I got to sit there and be a little sympathetic with him because he's now at the point. I don't know how this feels. I haven't been with a female in years. Okay. And I have messed with several men who have girlfriends or married, or so it's not like everybody that I mess with are just in this lifestyle, because I'm not attracted to that. But but from Kevin's point, that he has never messed around with a man, and he's trying to do this sneakily, and I was kind of dogging him out because I was saying he ain't doing it slick and he ain't doing it right. But when you don't know, and you ain't never done it before, and you really don't have that in you, you really a church-going person, and you're battling with yourself that the feelings that you're feeling aren't the way that you shouldn't be having these feelings, but yet you are having them. That whole phone situation and what I was sitting there, basically going off on him about, that he was doing this and how sloppy he was. This lifestyle is really messed up, and him coming into it not really knowing it is just a whole bunch of. There got to be a whole bunch going on in his head because he's got to deal with these feelings. I don't know if I did tell you, the love of my life, my third love of my life, we lived together for 3.5 years. 4 years. And I worked at nights, gave him permission. I knew he still liked pussy. I knew he still liked girls. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to change that about him. I was his first. I know my girlfriends or whatever, telling me, oh, you wasn't his first. I mean, because people hate like that anyway. But I know my love of my life. I know his story, and I know that I was his first. He basically was with me just for pity, because I let him stay there, and he just did it, and it evolved into something else. But we had an agreement that he could see girls, but they could never be there when I was there. I worked at night, so he could be able to do it. I never wanted to know about who he was hooking up with. I never had no parts of that. And he ended up, just to make a long story short so I can get out of this, his girlfriend, one of his girls, called me up talking about, where's your brother at? Because he's supposed to be back with the blood test for the marriage license. And I just thought it was crazy. But make a long story short, he left me to marry a girl. And he told me, he said, first he blamed it on because he wanted insurance. She was VA, and he could be able to have insurance. But then he was saying his girlfriends was wondering why they could never come around when I'm there. And he was not willing to sit there and even let that go. Well, Kevin, on the other hand, Kevin has these fantasies, and he doesn't know how to be able to deal with them. And they was coming across the charity. In all actuality, that's the reason why she's pregnant, because he was fighting the demons of him having feelings for a man. That's the reason why he said, well, I'm ready, let's have a baby. And and that's not the reason why to do that, Kevin, for real, because now you got twins coming along, and you don't really know which way you want to go. I think maybe you might pull yourself up out of this. But anyway, so he said, I get real fast in my speaking or whatever. So Charity and Gary go out for a walk. So he's sitting on the couch. He wakes up and he's looking at the family portrait or whatever, and whatever's going through his head, like he's tripping, like, I can't even believe I'm down here. And then she's leaving out. He said, where you going? She said, I'm going with Kevin for a walk. He said, no. He said, you sure? He said, you want me? She said, no. She said, he said, well, Charity, how long I'm going to have to be down here on this couch? She said, well, once you decide that you want to talk. And not just tell me. He said, you doing this over a phone? She said, it ain't about a phone. We ain't even the same no more. We ain't even vibing. And until you can come out and tell me what is actually going on, you just going to remain down on your best friend, that couch. And she bounces out. So, I'm just going to follow this through with the Kevin situation, because this is a big part of what is like yanking on my chain today. There's different things that are yanking on my chain, but I'm gonna just do them in order how they are. So later on in the episode, Kevin is, well, I don't know if I want to do Kevin or Charity, but I'm gonna do Kevin because Kevin's the one. Kevin's out to dinner with the white guy, and I'm sorry, y'all, I do not know what his name is, and I really just, he just goes over top of my head, because he's a queen. One, number two, he's white, and if Kevin was going to be mess around or whatever, I would prefer that he would mess around with the dudes that he's been flipping through on the little app, what's his name, and not no little sissy white boy. You know what I'm saying? So the white boy sitting there, they got their little glasses of wine, and he said, well, I'm kind of glad that, he was telling him something about his friend. So he's openly gay, I guess. I guess he don't have any problems with it, because he get ready to make his little pounce, you know what I'm saying? So he said, well, I'm kind of glad that center closed from them having a little sleepovers. What he said, well, no, not because I don't like doing that or whatever, but this gives us a chance to be able to do this. And Kevin gonna sit there like, huh? Do what? Kevin, come on now. I'm with the white boy on this. He's like, oh, don't do that. He said, don't. He said, don't do that. He said, You telling me we ain't been flirting? He said, I'm not gay. And I was like, no, you're not. You haven't messed around yet, Kevin. But you know what you're doing. Why are you there? He said, well, why are we here? Why are we at dinner? And he was like, I don't know. And old dude sit there, and he basically said where Kevin's going with this. This ain't his first time at the rodeo. He done been. I guess he said it's okay if you still trying to figure things out or whatever, or you don't really mess around or whatever. You just fuck dudes from time to time. He said, nah, I ain't gay. Well, he's not gay. Kevin, because he doesn't know the lifestyle yet. He thinks because he, and this is true because I never take anything away from my baby, and the one that got married on me. I never take. He is a man, and the ones that are married or got girls, I give them their props that they're men, and I'm not gonna clunk them in, and I'm not gonna make them buy or whatever. That's what they are, but I'm not gonna ever take away from them being a man. Okay, they still like pussy, they still do what they doing, and they just like some ass from time to time. Okay, and I don't have no problems with that. And I don't need nobody to come out and say that we're in a relationship. I don't need nobody. But Kevin's just still going through these things. And so he's dealing with it. So Charity sees that that Malcolm's leaving, and she talks to him, and because she always feels like she left out. So he was telling her that he was going over to Triumph with Skanks, basically Skanks, and she was like, "What?" She said, "What Daddy think?" And he's saying, "He's cool with it." She said, "You tell Mama yet?" And she said, "She gonna want you to move out." So She has her little things with, because she's really starting to show y'all. She's carrying these twins. She's stressed out about Kevin. Then she goes in and she says something to her daddy, and she notices that something's wrong with the bishop, but she didn't push the envelope. So then she asked her mama later on, and she said, "Well, talk to your daddy about it." But she said, "Whatever it is, we're gonna weather this storm, and everything's gonna be okay, and we all love each other, and blah blah blah." And while she's sitting on the couch, Kevin comes down with his blanket and his pillow. And then, so Charity goes on upstairs. She said, "Well, I don't know what's going on between y'all, but the bishop has never been on the couch. And if he has been on the couch, he ain't been on there as long as you have." And she said, "You got to, you got to be able to resolve. It's just you, the man." So he going through the whole thing, and I'm like, okay, so he is all bundling up in him. And I think after that dinner with the white dude, that he's realizing, okay, I love Charity. I love her. Those are my kids. And I got to make this right. So he go in there and he stumble over all his words. And y'all want to know something? The sad part is, she has old dude who's the choir director, where she puts it behind. And I understand that this is your man and the father of your kids, but investigate to see if he's actually fucked around before. But she went he just beat around the bush and went to the. She's like, "Baby, whatever it is, we can work through it." And he was like, and then he did the bust out crying. And I don't think I would have that in me ever. Even though I know people know my sexuality, and I'm fine with that. But just with my mother. My mother would love me regardless. She would love me regardless, and I know she knows about my sexuality. But she has never asked me, and I would never talk to her about my personal life. I've never said anything about, I didn't say put she in front of he, or none of that. I've just never have discussed my personal life. And she has never asked me about my personal life. But I would never have that, for somebody that I don't want to know. I would never go to my pastor. I would never go to anybody who I don't want to know and say, this is what it is. I'm just not, I don't feel like it's their business, but I just can't do it. So I'm feeling for him. But he's not the whole story though, y'all. I mean, he's a majority of this story. But then we got Bishop. Bishop got a lot of things going on with him right now, y'all. Jacob's leaving. He got Mac in jail, and I don't know what he has on him. Him and May is going through little issues, and I want to know. I mean, I think he's having these mini strokes, but I'm thinking, and because he's holding one side of his arm or whatever, and it might be Parkinson's. I don't know, but I'm thinking he's having mini strokes, and so he's going through what he's going through. The church falling apart. Lady May is still trying to have this Women's Day function at this, in this ballroom at a hotel, and the parishioners, the other women don't want to be trying to be all flossy because they're going through all these issues. So she basically threatened. She said, "Okay, well, we can have it there." Where Lady May wants it, but you gotta let Grace preach during the summer. She said, "Hey, we ain't trying to replace Bishop, but just give some time for the dust to kind of settle or whatever." And May ain't having that mess at all. May went as far as to say that she wants to preach during the summer because she ain't gonna have Grace up in that pulpit preaching for no whole summer. She just ain't having that. And so the bishop got that stress on him. Lady May, you know what, and I tell y'all how Lady May is a snake in the grass in different ways. I thought she knew everything that's going on. She really is in the dark just as much as all of us are in the dark. She didn't know about Mac, or she was suppressing it. She don't know about any of those things. All these things that I thought that she knew, and she was just trying to cover up because she wanted to keep on living this flaw. She does want that facade. I mean, that appearance, like they're grand and all that. She does want that, and that is power that can go to your head. But she really does not know everything that's going on, because she's pressing the bishop about what Mac has over top of his head. Then we got Sophia, the Grace's daughter. If you would not have been the little kid that you are, and go calling your daddy when you found out about Mac, and now you really like being there, you fucked up everything. You did. And now you want to be mad at Grace. But Grace, you sitting there going through what you going through with Noah, because Noah sent you a text, email saying FYI, and you done got an attitude all up on your back. Baby, you was wrong. I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. This thing, you all up in the pulpit, and y'all preaching, and y'all all walking around with it, and y'all all doing wrong stuff. And I ain't even gonna sit there and say y'all deserve to be together, because y'all going about it the wrong way. And then now, his fiance is coming back. Isabel's coming back in town next week, and now she got an attitude behind that, and she's like, she don't know how she's feeling. He don't know how he's feeling, and I'm like, what in the hell is going on? Yeah. Every which way that go, there's some drama up in the show. She avoiding Whoopi, her Aunt Mavis. She stood her ground. Mac came after her, trying to shut her down. Her bar down. She packing up. She keeps on calling Grace. Grace keeps on avoiding her. What church folks do? Now, Basie comes over there, and you know what? He came over there to floss, okay? He came over there to rub it in Bishop's nose. But Bishop, being the pimp he is, he didn't let on to anything. He gave Bishop his blessing. But you want to know, there is one part that I don't really know what's going on, and that's with Clarissa and that dude. And I don't know if the one that she has lunch with. And I've seen the way he was looking at her. And she was talking, and earlier when they was talking about the test scores, and I was thinking, well, maybe she doesn't know that he might like her. I don't know. Y'all tell me what's going on with them, because when she found out that they were definitely going, and she wanted to tell him. She said, "Can I talk to you for a second?" I thought she was going to tell him about the test results that she's been waiting on or whatever. And she said, "No, I just wanted to let you know, I'm going to be Jacob. Are they at Triumph? I don't even know where they're at." But I thought he was at her school. But she was sitting there saying, "You're going to be seeing me more." And she said, "You know why I'm saying this? Did they fuck around already?" And then she's just sitting there letting him know. Because he said, "I'll be respectful. I'll keep my distance or whatever." But am I missing something? Did she step outside? Because I thought there was going to be a big issue because of Jacob going to Triumph. Because Hofina is over there. Whatever, I can't even remember what her name is. I had it, but yeah, the white girl. Because she's attending that church. So I don't know, but this episode to me, with all the different ways, because Grace, Sophia causing all that stink that she did with her dad, and him coming up, and he's using that, Mac as an excuse. So she brung Sophia out of state without his permission. And Sophia don't want to go. And she even told the man she don't want to go. But that's when, that's the thing that's kind of fucked up, when the parents hear what the desire is, but because he's feeling whatever way he's feeling, you got to, if your daughter's saying she don't want to go, she don't want to go. And Sophia, and you stop stomping your feet and going into the other room and saying, "Don't touch me." You caused this. You caused this. You're not that young. You're in high school, baby. You're not that young. You're smoking weed. You're not that young. You can figure some things out. And you could have went to your mama and be like, "Mama, why didn't you tell me?" But you don't got to go calling your daddy and all that type of stuff, because now you done opened up a can of worms and you ain't ready to deal with the consequences that you got to do. You got to go spend the whole summer with a man that you don't even really fuck with like that. It's life. This episode was, it wasn't no woo, 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 woo. But when Kevin was sitting there trying to tell her, and she sit there and was going off. She was going off. She was, what's there? And I'm like, "You got them two babies in you. What's wrong with you, girl? Calm down." And she fell down on the floor. I said, "Oh, Lord." And then they all standing out there trying to say, "What's going on?" But, also, Lady Mae kind of surprised me that she ain't going to put Jacob out the house. And I did. There's certain parts of her that I do like, but it's just, she's so, I don't like how she treats Grace. I don't know. I don't like it. She wants to blame that on Grace coming back and let everything happen. And baby, you should be thanking Grace for bringing it to the forefront. But she's not, and I can't get with her on that one. But she does love her family. She does. But anyway, y'all, we growing, right? We are growing. I have over 1,400 views. I've only been doing this for like a month and a half, and I'm satisfied with those numbers. I am. Because sometimes it's weak. But please, if you're watching this, I do Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. I do Cutting It Up in the ATL. I do Power. I do Basketball Wives LA. I do The Haves and the Have-Nots. Please watch my other videos. Like them. Comment on them. Power, I get good comments on that. They're growing it every single time. But I need y'all to be able to watch my other channels and let me know what y'all think. I will get this syncing thing together, and I will holler at y'all on Thursday for Cutting It Up in the ATL. Peace out. I see you then. God bless.